what's going on YouTube? This is Garrett DJ Deuce. Got another pickups video for you guys. It's been 3 weeks since the last video, and the past 3 weeks have been crazy. For example, I found a rare Super Nintendo cartridge on a Saturday at a flea market, and the next day I found the same game from a different seller, all in the same weekend. Just crazy stuff. And then I also picked up another pair of rare Super Nintendo cartridges, one from Craigslist and one from a yard sale. So just tons of stuff to cover. After this video is uploaded, I'm going to upload another video right after that that's going to cover this huge lot that I picked up from a collector who was just selling off his entire collection. So I got to pick a lot of the titles out of his collection, and he's keeping a few core components, so there'll be a separate video for that. And in that same video, I'm going to do a special unboxing video that I got. It's just a big box that I got from Retro Rat. Very happy with what I got from him. He hooked it up with price on that stuff, so that'll all be in the video after this one. So let's get started with all the pickups. There's just tons of stuff to cover. So an ad popped up on Craigslist, and there was a bunch of stuff, old Atari stuff for sale, and there was one item that caught my eye, so I inquired about that one, and then there were two TurboGrafx-16 games that I also bought from the same guy. So this is a complete in box Odyssey 2. This is my very first Odyssey 2 in the collection. I've seen a bunch loose at flea markets, but they were asking too much. But this guy sold me this complete in box, and the system is in there. It's got the two controllers, and it's also got the paperwork. So we've got the owner's manual for the Odyssey, as well as the warranty sheet. So that plus 10 games. So we've got Casey Munchkin. We've got computer golf, hockey and soccer, baseball, alpine skiing, speedway spinout and crypto logic, freedom fighters, armored encounter and subchase, bowling and basketball, and finally football. And these boxes are also in really, really clean shape too. It's got the cart in there as well as a manual for each one of these. And I also got Bonk's Adventure and Bonk's Revenge for the TurboGrafx-16, and I sold those on eBay to kind of chip away at the cost of this lot, which again was $100. So very glad to get that. I had to drive about an hour away to pick it up though, so that was the only downside of it, but well worth the drive. Alright, so this next pickup comes from OfferUp. This lot cost me $60, and it's a Game Boy Advanced and Game Boy Color lot with about 14 games. I pulled a bunch of stuff out of there already and traded them off or sold them. So what you're going to see is just the stuff that I kept. So we'll start off with this color, color purple Game Boy Color. And these are the games that I kept. We got Revenge of Shinobi, Batman Forever, Donkey Kong Land 2, Pokemon, Kirby's Dream Land, and Lamborghini. If you guys want to see all the stuff that didn't make the cut in the video, all the stuff that I sold off or am selling, stay tuned after the video, and I'll have just still photos with background music, how I've been doing the past couple videos. That way you guys can kind of see what I've been picking up lately without, you know, taking too much time in the video. So that was a $60 Craig's OfferUp lot, excuse me. So this next stack of games comes from a $90 PS1 lot that was also on OfferUp. A lot of it was RPG titles, stuff that I've already had, so that stuff's already sold off. And these 5 games are what I ended up keeping out of the lot. So we've got the Spyro Collector's Edition, all 3 of them. No outer box, but it's Spyro Ripto's Rage. We've got Spyro Year of the Dragon and Spyro the Dragon. These are all in mint condition. I also kept Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and The Divide, Enemies Within. So the entire lot cost $90. There were some really good games in there though, like I think it was Parasite Eve 2 in there. There was a bunch of RPGs like the Final Fantasy 7s, 8s, 9s, just a ton of stuff. You can see the pictures after the video, so very happy with that. Alright, so the next pickup, this is from Craigslist. There was a guy that was selling, that posted a bunch of PSP games for sale. There was a total of 8, and he said 8 PSP games, $15. I thought they were 15 bucks a piece. Turns out they were for everything. I talked to him about more games. He had other games, and then we finally agreed on a bundled price for everything for 40 bucks. And that lot contained a PS2 Slim, PS2 games, original Xbox games. So really good deal for everything. I kept all the PSP titles. Now these are all PAL formatted games, but still, I love Sony, so these are excellent additions to the collection. We got Myst, SSX on Tour, Loco Roco, Tekken Dark Resurrection, Spectral vs. Generation, Darkstalker Chronicles, Guilty Gear Judgment, and finally Patapon. And all these have the manuals in them. So very happy to get all this stuff. And I made a bunch of money off of the rest of the stuff as well. That went into funding other games. Alright, so this next pickup is all the stuff that I got from the flea market on Saturday. Alright, so a couple of Saturdays ago, I picked up a bunch of stuff from one seller for 150 bucks. So it was a big box of stuff, consoles, controllers, just cartridges, random games, and then a smaller box with the same thing. So the backstory on that was the previous weekend, he had a pair of Donkey Konga, bongos for the GameCube, and he had some strategy guides. So I asked him, do you have any more video game stuff? And he said, I didn't bring them out, but I have a bunch of stuff in a bunch of boxes. He mentioned Sega, Nintendo, whatever. He said he'll bring them up the following weekend. So I saw him the following weekend. I got to look at some of the stuff. And once I picked through a few carts and saw one in particular, I said, okay, I just want everything. How much would you be willing to charge for it? And he said, how about 150 bucks? I said, sold. So for 150 bucks, I got a bunch of stuff. There'll be pictures of that stuff after the video. One of the cartridges in the lot was Demon's Crest. Now, it was in okay shape. I'd say maybe 7 out of 10. The label was clean, but kind of dirty. Had a little nicks here and there. That went to my friend Vernon that same day. I posted a picture of what I found on a Facebook channel. He chimed in saying he had interest in it. So we did a trade. I traded him the Demon's Crest for a copy of Valkyrie Profile for the PS1. And here's a picture of that handoff. So as you can see, we did the trade. He was very happy to get Demon's Crest. I was very happy to get Valkyrie Profile because I sold my copy a long time ago and regretted it because I could not find one in the wild ever since. So Valkyrie Profile trade for a Demon's Crest. So here's all the other stuff that I decided to keep out of the lot. Just a bunch of cartridges, some games, just random stuff everywhere. So we'll start with Primal Rage for the Sega Genesis, Spider-Man for the N64. Got a couple of small Game Boy Color and original Game Boy cartridges, Toy Story 2, Looney Tunes Carrot Crazy, Miner 2049er, and this mystery Game Boy Color game is Mega Man Extreme 2. Alright, got Robotech Battlecry for the original Xbox, Resident Evil Anthology for the PS3, we've got Panzer Dragoon and Nights in the Dreams for the Sega Saturn, a couple of long box titles, we've got DEFCON 5 for the PS1, and Williams Arcade's Greatest Hits. Just a bunch of random stuff. And a lot of the cartridges were dirty, so I still have to clean these off. We've got Mario's Early Years Fun with Numbers for the Super Nintendo, The Incredible Hulk, Plock, Captain America and the Avengers, and finally Gun Force. So that was a really screaming deal. Once you guys see all the pictures that everything was in the lot, then you'll understand why I paid $150 for everything. I mean, the Demon's Crest alone was worth picking the entire lot of. So very happy with that. And Vernon was very happy that he was able to get Demon's Crest finally. So after that pickup, I did a couple of rounds, and then I found a bunch of PlayStation 2 titles and a system and some PS1 games. And most of them didn't have the manuals in them, but I paid a total of $35 for all that stuff. And you can see the pictures of that after the video. So that was another thing I picked up at the flea market. And so before I left, I spotted another seller that had this on his table. This is a tabletop Donkey Kong mini arcade game, and it works. So I asked him how much he wanted for this. He said, give me $5. I gave him $5 for this. I also asked him how much this was. This is a Pac-Man thermos. And it's got the lid and everything on it. And he said $5 for this too. So after I bought that stuff, I said, hey, I noticed you had some video game related stuff. Do you have any games? And he said, yeah, I got a bunch of boxes in my backyard. Haven't had time to sort them out. But if you check back with me tomorrow, I'll bring it out. So I was like, okay, cool. So that's for Sunday. So here's what I got on Sunday. All right, so yesterday I bought a Donkey Kong tabletop arcade game and a Pac-Man thermos for $5 each from a seller that buys up storage lockers. So yesterday I had a conversation with him and I asked him, hey, do you have anything game related, that you might have for sale today? And he said, no, I didn't have time to bring out some boxes and tubs that may have some cartridges, some PlayStation games, and some systems. He didn't have time to bring those out, so he said check with him tomorrow. So today, tracked him down, and he definitely had some heat. We started off with an initial transaction of $65, and that covered some of that stuff down there, and the NES cartridges in the middle. Well, some of them, and also that tabletop game that we'll cover in a second. So he said check back because I might have some more stuff. I'm still digging and sorting and unloading. So I come back and he has 4 Super Nintendo cartridges, and he said, hey, I found 4 more. I'll just include these as part of the other deal. And so he said, come back because I'm still unloading. So I do a couple more laps, come back, and the dude had a small box just full of other cartridges and systems, cords and whatnot. So he sold all that other stuff to me for $40. A total of $105 for everything you see here. And there's just a bunch of good titles. So let's start off with Donkey Kong Jr. We have a mini Super Nintendo and a Nintendo 64 with a red top, and those are all the hookups for it, controllers and whatnot. Ton of N64 games: Yoshi's Story, Super Mario 64, Namco Museum 64, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, Star Wars Rogue Squadron, Star Fox 64, WCW vs. NWO, Scooby-Doo Classic Creep Capers. Finally, we have Turok 2, Zelda Majora's Mask, which is a hologram edition, another copy of Turok 2, WCW Backstage Assault, WCW NWO Revenge, and another copy of Super Mario 64. Next up, we have some Nintendo games: Super Mario Bros. 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Friday the 13th, To the Earth, Super Mario Bros., Top Gun, Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt, and what was that? World Class Track Meet. We got Hoops, The Simpsons, Bart vs. the Space Mutants, Mario Brothers Duck Hunt, Dr. Mario, Paperboy, Pinbot, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Supercars, and another copy of Mario and Duck Hunt. Got some Genesis titles: Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Mick and Max Global Gladiators, Castlevania Bloodlines, which is a double. This is Hard Driving. We have Jeopardy, Longbox Gex, Deca Sports, Mass Effect, and Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Remix for the PS3. Got some loose little carts here. We have Uno, Frogger, Quest for Camelot, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Eternal Duelist Soul, Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron, and Battlefront 2. Loose copy of Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Time Splitters Future Perfect for the PS2. Over here we have Metal Gear Solid 4, Uncharted Drake's Fortune, Fallout New Vegas, The Walking Dead, The Matrix Path of Neo, The Con, ATV Off-Road Fury Blazing Trails, Ren and Stimpy Show, Stimpy's Invention, Monster House, and a copy of Blasto without the manual. And Ren and Stimpy does not come with the manual either. All right, finally, a lot of heat in these titles. So we've got Super Street Fighter 2 Arcana, which is one of the 4 cartridges that he found to throw in for free. Mario Paint, Art of Fighting, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, Championship Pool, Mech Warrior, Demon's Crest. Now, this is the second copy of Demon's Crest that I found at the flea market in the past 2 days. The first copy, of course, as I mentioned earlier, got traded off to another collector named Vernon. This one is actually in a lot better shape than the other one, though. So this is another double. I have someone that's interested in it from Denver, so I might trade with him, or I may just list it on eBay to recoup from all the money I spent today. We got Mortal Kombat 2, and that's one of the 4 cartridges he threw in for free. Mortal Kombat 2, Nickelodeon Guts. We got NFL Football, Gradius 3, Shadowrun, which is also another one of the 4 cartridges he threw in, as well as Draken. That's another. So Draken, Shadowrun, Demon's Crest, and Arcana were the 4 cartridges he threw in with the initial $65 transaction. It's just crazy. SimCity, Mega Man X, Mortal Kombat 3, Star Wars Starfleet Academy, and finally Super Empire Strikes Back. So all this stuff for $105, just incredible. And it's also just insane to find another Demon's Crest out in the flea market in just 2 days. All right, so as you can see, that was crazy. I mean, 2 Demon's Crests in the same weekend. Just insane. So that second copy of Demon's Crest went to Best Tech, whose YouTube channel is Best in West. I posted a picture of the second one in a Facebook channel, so he bought that off of me. I gave him a good deal on it, so I hope he's happy with that. He's long since gotten it. It got delivered like maybe a week and a half ago. So thanks, Best Tech, for getting that off of me. It helped recoup a lot of the stuff that I've been buying lately. So moving along, we've got this $5 code breaker that I picked up from Craigslist. There was a guy that posted a PS2 on sale, really high priced, a lot of common titles in there, but I saw this in there, so I asked him if he would separate just the one item out of here, and he said, sure, give me $5 for this game, and I just went for it. So this is actually still sealed. It's got a bunch of tape all over it, though, but it is, I'm not sure what version this is, but this is pretty expensive. This is like $79 to $89. I'm not sure how much more it would be factory sealed, but I've been looking for one of these for the PlayStation 2 set, so glad I got one at $5. Alright, so I forgot to cover an eBay lot. So I saw a Sega Nomad with Contra Hardcore on eBay, and the starting bid was $89.99. So I ended up winning this for $91. And that's a pretty good deal because I think this is like $50 in itself, and of course the Nomad's pretty expensive too. I think it's like $70. So really good deal for both of these. $91, and it came with the controller, the AV cable, and the power brick, which is upstairs right now in my living room because my friend Lauren is buying my extra Nomad. I already have one. This screen is in better shape than the other one, so he picked that up off of me, so I just had to send him a video showing him that it worked. He's already since bought the Nomad, so he just has to pick it up. But the next eBay grab was this Razor Freestyle scooter for the N64, and it is factory sealed. This is a Blockbuster exclusive game, but it's not as rare as the other ones. These are more commonly found, especially sealed, very cheap. But I've been on an N64 kick lately, and now I'm on this Sega Genesis kick. But very happy to add that to the N64 set. So I went to the Arc during my lunch break, and there was a bunch of games there, just tons of it, dirt cheap. Nothing more than $4 a piece. So I'm only going to show you the games, of course, that I kept. So we have Ultimate Fighting Championship, and I paid $3.99 for that. We have Shiren the Wanderer, and that was also $3.99. We've got Persona 3, and I don't know if you guys can see that price, but it's $3.99 as well. We've got Franklin, A Birthday Surprise. We've got Jade Empire, which was also $4. Tenchu Shadow Assassins. That was also $4. We've got the PlayStation Underground Jam Pack, $1.99. And I have Flight Simulator 2003 already packed up. That one already sold. But I got Flight Simulator 2003 and 2004. And this was only $1.99. All right, let's see. This next pickup comes from Entertainmart. They actually got bought out by a company called Vintage Stock, so the prices have been going up. Kind of sad day for people that go there to get stuff at the same price. Everything's pretty much more expensive now. But I did manage to get a sealed copy of Siphon Filter, the Omega Strain for the PS2. I already have this, but not factory sealed, and I only paid $5 for that. So it's still sealed, top, bottom, very, very clean condition front, so $5 for that. I went to Independent Records and picked up Power Rangers Time Force, and this was on sale for $3.98. Also went to another independent records and picked up a bunch of games pretty cheap. One of them's not in here. It was Silent Hill Shattered Memories for the PS2. That's actually going to be part of a trade, hopefully, with Stilo 999. But I also picked up the special edition Spider-Man 3, which has a slipcover, and it's all in there. It's got the bonus disc as well, and I paid $3.99 for that. We've got Raises Hell, which was priced at $5.99. It's an obscure Xbox title, but I had 8 points on my card, so I used 6 points to get this half off. So this only cost me $3 plus tax. Then finally, I've got Corpse Party Blood Drive for the PS Vita, and I only paid $22.99 for that. Very glad to get this. When this first came out, I couldn't pull the trigger right away on it because of funds at the time, so I'm glad I was able to pick one up at a pretty good price. Alright, so on Craigslist, 2 DS games came up for sale, both over $5, and I kept Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey for the DS. Sorry, that's just really, really hard to read because it's like dark blue. So, but this, and I got a Mahjong game, both for $5. And the Mahjong game was like a $12 title, so that more than paid for the whole, the 2 games. So, happy to add that to the collection. I just need to find the case now. Alright, so let's cover a $60 pickup that I got from Craigslist. This guy originally wanted $80, but when we met up, it turns out that I knew the guy and we did business before, so he gave me the homie hookup, so to speak. So this Game Boy came with, I want to say, a total of maybe 8 or 9 games, and I kept 3 of them, and of course the Game Boy. So what we have here is a Play It Loud original Game Boy. I already have one, so this will be trade bait for somebody who needs one. But it does have the battery back and the original case. And I also kept 3 games that came with it. So we've got Super Mario Land 1 and 2. Now, what made the lot worth the while was this game, which is Mega Man 5. I think this alone is like $80 to $100. So I was more than happy to pay $60. I was even more than happy to pay $80 for the whole lot, just because of this game. But when I saw him, we ended up talking and catching up and everything, so he decided to hook me up for $60. So very happy with that. Alright, so last weekend, before I went to the flea market, I went to a yard sale. So there was a Craigslist ad that said, we just moved from out of town, trying to get rid of a lot of stuff, everything for sale. And what caught my attention was video game systems with video games. So I texted the person and said, hey, what kind of video games are you going to put out? And the person said, I'm going to be putting out a PS1 console with a bunch of games. There may be some Nintendo, Super Nintendo stuff, Nintendo 64. I was like, okay, cool. I'll be there. So the next day, I showed up there at about 7:30. They were literally pulling stuff out of a moving truck and putting it on their driveway to sell. So they moved from North Carolina, so they're just trying to downsize. They weren't quite ready, so I went to the gas station, came back, and it was about 7:45, and there was a guy already there picking through some of the games for the PS1. So he only ended up taking 1 game out of the lot, which was Time Crisis, and he told me the guy wants $30 for everything. I was like, oh, sweet. So then I told the guy, I was like, I'll buy everything, but he pulled 1 game out, so how much would you charge? And he was like, all right, just give me $28 for everything. So $28 got me a loose PS1 system with 2 controllers. I've already sold that. And it came with just a stack of games. I kept a lot of it, and only some of it went the way of trades and sales. So we'll start off with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. There's no manual. We've got WCW NWO Thunder, Action Bass, Billiards, Land Before Time Big Water Adventure. We have Bowling, Dave Beckham Soccer, Mobile Armor, Future Cop LAPD, K1 The Arena Fighters, Missile Command, Soviet Strike, F1 World Grand Prix, Barbie Super Sports, Turboprop Racing with a, this looks like a color copy of the manual. It's not actually the manual. We got Rampage World Tour, ATV Mania, Golden Nugget, Looney Tunes Sheep Raider, Rallycross 2, Tokyo Highway Battle, Family Card Games, Shrek Treasure Hunt, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire 2nd Edition, Rainbow Six, Contender, Medal of Honor Underground, Mech Warrior 2, World's Scariest Police Chases, Driver 2, Siphon Filter 2, and finally, Akuji the Heartless. So what happened next, I put this in my car, and I said, hey, someone told me that you guys had some Nintendo systems and whatnot. So he said, yeah, let me pull those out of the house. I haven't really gotten to them yet. So I waited around for a little bit, and he pulls out 2 regular Nintendos and a control deck box. I guess it was just an empty control deck box that housed one of them. And then he also pulled out a Super Nintendo, a black Nintendo Wii. He had a GameCube in there. But the problem was none of these had cords. But I still picked everything up from him, and he only charged me $30 for that stuff. So $58 total for everything. So I left him my number, told him to text me if he ever found the cords and controllers, and possibly other games. He did text me back saying he didn't find the cords or controllers yet, but he found a bunch of other stuff, which I'll cover in a minute. And to this day, I still haven't heard from him regarding just the cords and controllers for the consoles and other games. So, but still, $28 for the PS1 lot and $30 for those as-is consoles was a great deal. So even if he doesn't call me back to let me know he found anything, I'm still happy with what I got. I mean, more than fair. So after that, I went to the flea market, and I didn't really find much out there. A lot of the other resellers and collectors did find some stuff. The only highlights of that day was, like, I think one reseller found 3 brand new sealed 3DS games. But here's what I found. For $5, I got this cool looking Pikachu DSi charge stand. So this is made by Hori, but this thing is huge. I mean, it's a pretty big box. Everything is in brand new condition, and I paid $5 for this. This was just sitting on the ground. There's a guy named Raymond that buys up storage lockers, and they were just sorting everything out of the trailer. And this was just sitting on the floor, and I said, hey, Raymond, how much do you want for this? And he was like, just give me $5. So, you know, even though I didn't really find anything else that day as far as games, I was happy to at least find this huge Pikachu DSi charger. And I guess you put your DSi right there in the middle of the Pokeball. So $5 for this. Not too bad. So that's pretty much it for the pickups for Saturday. Now let's cover Sunday's pickups. Alright, so Sunday, went to the flea market, and I mentioned that there was a guy looking through the PS1 titles at that yard sale on Saturday, and he was at the flea market too. He's a Filipino guy. His name is Ron. He said he watches like Casey the Game Nerd and a bunch of other channels and whatnot. So we ended up, you know, doing a couple rounds of the flea market together. He found some stuff. I found some stuff. There's plenty enough to go around between the two of us. So I'm going to show you some pickups that I got from that day. So we'll start off with this small little lot that I got. This is Killer is Dead. It's everything but the game. And these 2 Blu-rays, Natural Born Killers and Afro Samurai Resurrection. And I paid $5 for everything. Ran across a huge lot of PS3 games. I paid $50 for everything. I asked Ron if he wanted anything out of it. He said, no, I just want this Lego the movie. So I was like, okay, cool. It was a Blu-ray movie. So I picked up a whole stack of PS3 games for $50. He told me that I should have paid only like $40, but still, for a lot of the titles that were in there, it was well worth the money. These are the 4 things that I kept out of that huge stack. And that's Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Lego Indiana Jones, Mod Nation Racers, and the PlayStation 3, you know, demo disc that comes in every PS3 fat. So $50 for a whole stack, kept those. Found Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, for $10. Found these 2 games for $1 a piece. This is The Godfather Mob Wars for the PSP, and Tomb Raider. Alright, so I went to a pawn shop and picked up 3 things for $8 out the door. It was a Parasite Eve for PS1, I got Sonic 3 the Hedgehog, and there was a loose PS1 game that was not in the best shape. It was Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, but $8 out the door was a screaming deal. Okay, so I get a text message from the guy at the yard sale where I bought all the consoles with no cords and everything, and he told me that he couldn't find the cords or controllers, but he found another console without cords and a bunch of other games. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll swing by. So stopped by his house and just picked up a bunch of stuff, and I only paid $60 for what you're about to see. It's just insane. So we'll start off with this copy of Mario Superstar Baseball for the GameCube, Super Mario Sunshine, Teen Titans, and the preview disc for the GameCube. We've got Earthworm Jim 2. We've got a Poke Walker. Mario vs. Donkey Kong Miniland Mayhem for the DS. A bunch of original Xbox titles. Conkers Live and Reloaded. The cover is in really bad shape. There's a tear in it. I don't know if you guys can see that. No manual. But still, I paid $60 for everything. Midtown Madness 3. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 and 1. Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. And Combat Task Force 121 for the original Xbox. Okay, so now we're getting to the good stuff. He also had a green Game Boy Pocket, and it works. Got the battery back as well. He had Lethal Weapon for the Super Nintendo, and Chrono Trigger. So this game alone just like, you know, totally pays for like the whole lot and then some, but we're not done yet. I also have a loose JVC XI. Unfortunately, like he said, there was no cords or controllers, no games or anything, no Sega CD games. But he said the last time he checked, this worked. So I'm going to trust him on that and hope that it works because I have a non-working one that I got from Retro Rat like last year, and I sold that to Lauren. Lauren knows how to fix things. The only thing that was wrong with my other one that I have in the collection was it didn't read the discs, but it plays cards. So that I sold that to him at a really good price, as is. And hopefully, when I hook all this up, when I find the official power brick for it and AV cable, that this is actually working, because then that would be just sick to have this in my collection working. But this too alone, I think, is like, I don't know, $150 just the system itself. So this again, and add with this, just more than pays for that entire $60 lot. So just really insane. And in the pickup video that you're going to see after this one is uploaded, you're going to see that I found another copy of this. So I have 2 Chrono Triggers. One is going to Lauren. Lauren already has a copy, but for some reason he loves this game. So he's actually going to keep it. I'm going to show you the other cartridge so that, you know, I can show you that I actually have 2 of these. So stand by. Alright, so here is the Chrono Trigger that I got from the yard sale. And here is the other Chrono Trigger that I got from a guy that sold his entire collection. Well, he's selling his entire collection. And I got a bunch of stuff from him at a really good price. So stay tuned. After watching this video, there should be another one following maybe a few hours afterwards that'll cover what I got in that whole entire collection that he was selling. So 2 Chrono Triggers and 2 Demon's Crests in a 2-week period. I mean, that's just insane. I haven't had like a week like that in a very long time where it was just some crazy finds. So anyways, that's pretty much it for that stuff. I've got one more thing to cover, and I don't know if you remember the guy that sold me, we traded for the empty top loader box that was in really awesome shape. I got a Smash Brothers box and manual from him, a bunch of arcade marquees. We did a $300 trade. I traded him games for a bunch of like empty boxes and manuals, so stay tuned. So I've been picking up a lot of games lately, so I added up about $300 worth of a little bit below retail pricing and did a trade for all this stuff. And it's just a bunch of good quality boxes, manuals, and a few games that were in the boxes. So most of these are empty unless otherwise specified. So we'll start off with Super Mario Brothers Deluxe, Dragon Warrior Monsters, Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku, Dragon's Lair, Asteroids, Tom and Jerry, Mario Kart Super Circuit, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Crash Bandicoot The Huge Adventure. This is a sealed copy of Army Men Sarge's Hero 2. We've got Monster Rancher Advanced. We have Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars, which is actually in there. So there was like 2 games that were in there. We've got the Sega Game Gear TV Tuner Adapter box only. We've got Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters, Gremlins, Dokapon Monster Hunter, Metabots Metabee version AX. He also threw in for free this Ultra Racer 64 controller for the N64, and it's in there. And he gave me 2 big console boxes for free. Gave me this empty Nintendo 64 box. It's got the styrofoam in there, the instruction manuals, but there's some tape over here on the left side. But I'm not going to complain with free. That was not part of the 300. As well as an original Nintendo box. And this has the top and bottom styrofoam in there, as well as the user guide that's in there. And I think it's got like the RF adapters in there as well for the old school TVs. So that was free. And then a bunch of manuals, so let's go over these very quickly. What I'm not going to show you, what's not in this stack, is a Harvest Moon manual for the Super Nintendo, which I already sold, and I think it was Dragon Knight that I sold for like $60 on eBay. So I sold 2 manuals out of this pile, so this is all that's left. So we've got Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, Super Metroid, Contra 3, The Adventures of Batman and Robin, which is an obscure manual, a rare manual to find. Super Mario All-Stars, Mystical Ninja, Super Castlevania 4, Super Mario World. We've got the instruction manual for the Super Nintendo, Inindo, Way of the Ninja, Shadowrun, Civilization, Genghis Khan 2, Super Mario Kart, Captain America and the Avengers, another instruction manual for the Super Nintendo, Double Dragon 5, the Super Scope manual, Killer Instinct, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, another Super Scope manual, Uncharted Waters New Horizons, Nobunga's Ambition, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2, Bubsy 2, the Super Nintendo Mouse instruction manual, Final Fantasy 3, another Super Nintendo instruction manual, the Super Scope 6 manual, another Super Nintendo manual, Super Double Dragon, Gun Force, and finally, Super R-Type. So, well worth the trade. I didn't invest too much in the $300 worth of games that I traded across for all this stuff. And there's just a ton of manuals that I got that I can add to some of the boxed Super Nintendo games that I have that are missing them. Plus, if I ever found the box and game down the line, I can match them with these or trade these off. So, very happy with that. Other than that, that is pretty much all the pickups that I got for the past 3 weeks. And again, just a crazy week. Very happy to find 2 copies of Demon's Crest, 2 copies of Chrono Trigger in a 2-week period. I'm glad that the 2 copies of Demon's Crest went to good homes, especially to my friend Vernon. He's been looking for that one for a while. Best Tech, again, was looking for one of those as well. So glad that those went to two good homes. One of the Chrono Triggers I sold to Lauren, and I kept the one that I got from the guy who I bought a bunch of stuff from. And that video is going to come up after this one. So if you guys got time, check out that video as well. It's going to have coverage of that huge lot and a special unboxing video of a care package that I got from RetroRat. Other than that, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it the thumbs down. I do welcome the positive and negative comments because it does help improve the quality of this channel, of the content that I have in this channel. Sorry. If you guys have any questions, leave them below. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I've noticed that I've gotten a bunch of new subscribers lately, and I really appreciate that. Very blessed to have some people out there that are willing to sit through all my ramblings and all the 30, 40-minute videos that I have on the channel. So thanks, guys, for that. I am probably going to do a 400 sub contest. I think I'm at like 306 now. So I've already passed the threshold for the 300 sub. I'm going to try and go for the 400. I may do the 300 even though I'm already past 300. We'll see how much time I have to organize something like that. If I do, it'll be a bunch of, it'll be a nice little care package that I'll send out to the winner. It'll be a question. I'll do a drawing out of a hat, all that good stuff. So anyways, stay tuned after this video for all the still pictures of all the stuff that didn't make the cut. Other than that, I hope you guys are finding some good stuff out there. Happy hunting and peace.